A new report says women make up one of the fastest growing groups of entrepreneurs and employers. They include Sarah Blakely of Spanx. The tagline should be "Don't leave home without it," the woman who started the shapewear revolution, and Allie Webb, who is well on her way to following in Sarah's footsteps. Drybar is huge. Her California blow-dry salons are now opening coast to coast. Sarah and Allie are here this morning along with Susan Sabat. Who is Susan? She's president of American Express Open, which commissioned the report. Good morning to you all. Charlie was great. Charlie was right when he said we have a good audience here. So you've got a kick out of the stories. But this report, Susan, let's start with you, was so fascinating to me. And I think if you're a woman entrepreneur, business owner, you're feeling really excited today because it says women are part of the fastest growing segment of society in terms of businesses. Did that surprise you, number one? And what type of businesses are we talking about?
Well, you know, it's not surprising to me that women are making their footprint on the U.S. economy. Women are creating the businesses that they want to work for, and they're doing it in greater numbers. They're starting more companies, as you said. Importantly, they're growing their companies faster, and they're employing more people. And
it starts with a woman's idea. That's what I think is so great about it. Allie, let's get your story first, because I was so fascinated by how Drybar came about. You're a hairstylist, and I can think of all the hairstylists that say, I should have thought of that. I could do that. What were you thinking?
Well, as a girl with naturally curly, frizzy hair, and there was a hole in the marketplace. You know, there was no place for women to go for a great blowout in a beautiful space and at an affordable price. It just didn't exist. And I just felt like, you know, it was my duty to bring it to women all over the world, really.
Because you started going door to door with your clients.
Yeah, I had this mobile business, and I was, running around town doing blowouts, and I just didn't have enough time and enough me to go around, so I thought I need to create a space where women can come to me instead of me going to them. And then, of course, now 28 shops later, the idea worked.
And Sarah, you went from a sales associate to the youngest self-made billionaire for Spanx, a must-have for women. What do you think it is about why women are part of this fastest growing with small businesses?
Well, for me personally, it was not a lot of opportunity within the corporation I worked for. And I was seeing men get promoted after I was there a significant amount of time. And I thought to myself, I need to just try to do this on my own. So in some ways, I think some of the limitations women have been feeling in the workplace is motivating and part of why the numbers are growing for women. And then another thing is I always wanted to be self-employed.
So here's a quick question. So Allie, for you, because you've had a very quick rise, how did you get, for someone at home, how did you get the money? How did you get the funding? How did you get the knowledge to grow so quickly?
Well, my business partner is my brother, and while I had the styling background, he had the business background. So I was really lucky. And I always say you have to surround yourself with people who are good at what you're not. Yes. And he had, he understood business in a way I didn't. He worked for Yahoo for a long time. He had some money saved up. And I went to him, and ironically, he's bald. And I said, and he was watching my little mobile business from the sidelines. And I said, I need to open a place where women can come in. My husband and I put our life savings into this, which wasn't much. And then Michael, my brother, really funded the business. And I think, if he were sitting here right now, he'd probably say that was money he never thought he'd get back. But he was wrong.
Yeah, so. Okay, but here, that's good advice. Find somebody that knows something you don't know. But what do you have to have? What do you think you have, and what do you think you have, and what do most young women entrepreneurs have to make it?
I think it starts with the idea. You find, I was a frustrated consumer, you were a frustrated consumer, and you fill a niche or a void, and you have the confidence to do it. You're a risk taker. You're willing to trust your gut. I always tell women what you don't know can become your greatest asset if you will let it, because you don't have to know everything. I'd never gone to business class in my life, but I listened to my gut and continue to pursue Spanx. And I think a lot of people think you have to be so highly trained in something. Find a need. I mean, I couldn't figure out what to wear under my white pants, and that was it.
But how long did it take you, Sarah, before you realized this is going to be okay, I'm going to be a success? And how long before you realized this is going to be really okay? Years?
2 years of trying to get it made. That was the hardest part of my journey, because I was cold calling all the manufacturers, and they didn't quite see the concept or the idea, and that's a daunting part of getting your first prototype made. Once I had it made, I cold called Neiman Marcus, the buyer. I dragged her to the bathroom, showed her my own butt. She said, I get it, and I'll try it.
So it was 2 years. And you, Allie,
Yeah.
your brother, how much money did he lend you? Do you mind saying?
In the beginning, it was $250,000.
$50,000
Yeah,
to
but
start.
you know, to your point too. I mean, when we first started, my brother and I talking to landlords. I mean, we had to personally guarantee the very first lease because they were like, "What is this?
Yes.
What are you doing?" And no one believed in the idea, and so it took a while to get people. You know, now we have landlords coming to us because we're bringing so many women. But you know, and at the time, it just it didn't exist.
And when you say you have so many landlords coming to you because you're bringing so many women, what do you mean?
So what we found very early on when we first opened our location in Brentwood, we also opened in 2010, and people weren't spending money like they were in the past, and so. What happened when we opened Dry Bars, we're seeing like 100 women a day, give or take, in most of our shops. So landlords kind of realize, oh, we can get more women in our center, more women are shopping, more women are having lunch, and things like, they're doing their daily, getting their nails done and all the things
And
that
you
they
say
do.
no cut, no color, only blow dries early. And both of you started when the economy wasn't so good. Why? I would think, Susan, that would be the worst time to start.
Well, crisis always breeds innovation. And women are really going out there, not only in the sectors like beauty care and fashion, but across all sectors. We see women growing businesses in construction. We see women growing businesses in education. We see them growing businesses in healthcare, even waste management. And it's because they see the possibilities. It's also because the barriers to entry today are lower than they ever were. While it takes money, and it takes vision, it takes less money than it did in the past. You can do things today in terms of distribution online. You can get your friends and family to help you out, as Allie did. But what really distinguishes these two role models for all women out there who are thinking about starting their own business is that they think big. They really are thinking about not how do I do something that allows me to just support my family, but how do I do something that can really fill a need, that can really change the world at some level. And they did one other thing that's so smart. They delegated. They figured out it's not all about me. I need someone else to help me get this off the ground.
Absolutely.
Great conversation. Great to have all of you here. Thank you so much.